Hello and welcome to part 9 of the Jasmin Becket-Griffith Halloween Colour Along by Debbie Loves to Colour, and the page that we're doing is Skeleton Magic. If you notice here, I've got the book, and if you notice, these two skeletons are coloured in. This were actually a colour along which I filmed last night. The colour along took me a while and I had to edit it and make it into 2 videos. It took I spent a good few hours making this video and editing it for this colour along with these 2 skeletons, and I've lost all the data on my phone. I've not been able to download it to my phone. It's disappeared off the app. I don't know what's happened, but I'm really annoyed, so I do apologise that these 2 have been coloured in, but luckily I can show you exactly what I've done on this skeleton here. So what I'll do is, when I'm doing the skeleton, I'll explain the technique and where I've put the shadows on these skeleton here, so you can look back at these. You can rather take a screenshot on your phone and look back at these skeletons for the reference. But yeah, so I do apologise for that, and hopefully I'll be able to explain exactly what I've done while I'm doing this skeleton here. So I'm just going to zoom onto this skeleton, zoom in for you, because that's what we're going to be working on today. And the colours that I'm using is Prismacolor Premier pencils again. And the colours from darkest to lightest, we're going to be using the black, which is the PC 935. We're going to be using Sepia, which is PC 948. And then we're going to be using Green Ochre, PC 1091, and then we're going to be using a bronze, which is the PC 1028, and then we're going to be using the canary yellow, which is PC 916, and then we've just got our cream, which is PC 914. So they're the colours that I'm going to be using. The colour combination I've tried to look for, I wanted something that had matched the tights and the inside of the wing, but I wanted it to be different. As you can see, the skeletons have got an earthy, rustic tone to it, which is what I was going for. Because they are supposed to be old, they're not supposed to be brand new and shiny. So yeah, we've got, as you can see around here, we've got like a rustic look, and it's not too smoothed out appearance, it just gives them that old appearance. So getting on with today's video, what I started off doing first with very light pressure is take your green ochre, and what we're going to do is we're just going to, with a very light layer, hardly putting any pressure on this paper with your pencil at all, we're going to go where the shadows are. So we're just getting that colour down. And if you do hear any noise in the background, it's just my partner who is at home. Like I said, I'm having to film this again before work. But yeah, I'm really annoyed. I spent hours editing it and everything yesterday, because it ended up being a long video. And I wasn't planning on it to be a long video, so I had to split it, and then I had to edit bits out, and I spent like till early hours in the morning sorting it all out, and then I've gone to download it from the app this morning and it's disappeared. It's just saying it's not there, and I like I said, I had 2 videos, but hopefully this will just be 1 video, so because it's only 1 skeleton, so we can get it done a lot quicker. So I'm just going to put some underneath where a rat is, at the side of the skeleton's eye. And then we're just going to go around the mouth. So I'm imagining, if you can see on these two, I've made the light for the faces because they're like facing that way, so the light's hitting the faces in the centre. So I'm thinking of making the light hit around here. We'll see how it turns out. So we're just gonna line the side of the skeleton's head where it's meeting the page, just where it's going into that line. And I'm just using circular movements just so I'm not getting a straight line. Just going to fetch some round his eye. Again, I'm just going in circular movements, really light, hardly any pressure on at all at the minute. And then we're going to fill all this at the top of his head. Excuse me if I'm snivelling, I've got a lot of allergies this morning. So we've just got a rough shape of what I've done, and I'm thinking the light of it here. So now I've got my green ochre down, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in with the bronze. This is what I did here, so very lightly, don't go too dark with that bronze because we need to blend this in with our yellow. If you see there, it's not a smooth blend, but I'm not wanting it to be too much of a smooth blend because we're wanting to go for that rustic skeleton look anyway, so that's the kind of look I've been going for, which I think it's turned out pretty well. I think it complements the rest of the picture. Alright, so with this bronze, we're just coming through, just hit middle of where we've put the green ochre down. I mean, we are going to go back in and deepen everything up. It's going to change in appearance once we start doing that. Now, again, we're only putting light layers down. We're not going too heavy on this pressure because it's going to give us a colour that we're not going to want straight away. Same with the green ochre. Just try not to go full pressure with the pencil because we are going to end up with a different colour of what we want him to be putting down. So all as I'm doing is fetching this skeleton out, just so he's got like a little bit of a shimmer I don't know if you can see that, but we'll put the highlight on this skeleton here. I just think it'd suit it. So once we've got our layer of bronze down, have to excuse me, I'm just going to page a bit. But the technique what I'm using here is just the exact same that I've done on this skeleton. And you can always make your highlights a bit different to mine if you prefer. Totally up to you. Or you can try to recreate that. I just thought it seems as they're looking that way. Right, so now we've done that, we're just going to go in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start to fetch my yellow over the bronze and the green ochre, but I'm not going to go full pressure with the pencil again because we're going to want to build some layers. Also, yes, also we just want to fetch it slightly over where the yellow is. It's just so I can get my colours down and I've got a good visualisation of how everything is looking and how I'm wanting it to be, if that makes sense. So we're just going to slightly fetch, for now, this yellow out a bit. But yeah, I plan to have these videos uploaded this morning, so it hasn't gone well at all for me. Not at all. Right, so now we've got this down, we're going to start by going in with our super. And again, nothing too heavy for now, because we're going to be going back in with the green ochre. So we're just getting where it's going to be dark in them shadows. But yeah, I seem to have a lot of snivels this morning. So we're going to want some at the side of this eye. And then we're going to just fetch it around his mouth. So just like it's going to be in between is where the mouth, where the lips are, or would be. And I would imagine it's going to be darker towards here. Right, so we've just got our first colours down. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in with the green ochre. Now when I'm coming back in with this, towards the ends is the edge of the lines is where I'm going to be putting most pressure. I'm not going to be putting like a really hard pressure, just a little medium pressure. And then as we come out, so as you can see, it's deepening the colour, But as I come out towards the centre of the page, I'm wanting that pressure to be a lot softer, because we're only wanting the really deep colour of the green ochre on the edge of the page towards the line of the skeleton's head. It is a bit awkward with this line art cutting off. I'm just going to go over the sepia and then we're going to start to smooth it off a bit. So as you can see, it's darker and then we're smoothing it, really coming in lighter so we can mix it with that bronze. And again, if you've got any areas what you know are going to be really dark, you can put more pressure on. But just try to keep it not too heavy, because just so you can get a bit more layers onto your paper with other colours. So we're just going to darken this up. And very lightly just fetch some round the bottom of that hat. So if you can see, we're starting to get that rustic, earthy look, so it's giving it an aged appearance. Right, once we've just got our layer of green ochre down, if you excuse me a minute, I'm just going to sharpen my pencil. We're going in with the bronze. And again, what I use to just sharpen these Prismacolors, it's just the manual, I don't know if you can see that, it's just the manual swordfish sharpener. I think it was around just under £10 from Amazon. So if you're interested in the sharpener for your pencils, I will post it underneath, just in case anyone's wanting to know what sharpener we're using. Right, so with this bronze, all as we're doing is, again, not too heavy on this pressure, fetching it from where we put the green ochre down. I've never actually used this colour combination before. I've actually got it off of the, where did I see it? I got it off of the Facebook group, the Colour Combinations. because I've been looking ages and I've been trying out loads of different gold combinations, and I just couldn't find one to suit what I were after, and I come across this and I just thought the green ochre and the bronze seemed to match what I'm wanting to do. So I'm going to have to write it down actually. So now we've got the colour down a bit more deeper, we're going to take the canary yellow, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over everything, and we're going to kind of use this to smooth some of it out. Again, we're going to be going over with some black and deepen it up in the sepia, so try not to go full pressure. And we're going to come in with our cream as well, so we're leaving a little white space. Once we add the black to the page, it's going to change it again. Right, I'm just gonna, I want that a little bit lighter. Right, so we're going to go in with our sepia and we're going to start to just deepen little bits out. Again, I'm sorry if I'm snivelling, but I seem to have allergies really bad. I'm just gonna slightly, with a slight pressure, fetch some of this sepia up to the side of this line. But like I always say when I'm doing my colour alongs, you can always go back in and darken areas what you want to touch up if it doesn't look right. So I'm just going to come in with the green ochre here. And I'm just going to start smoothing out lightly, just where I've put that deepest colour. So just before I forget, on the highlight what you've got left, you can go in with the cream. Don't leave the eyes, the nose, because our background's going to be shining through, so it's going to be the same colour as our background. And also with this cream, if you need to blend around everything with this lighter colour, you can do that with it. Again, we don't need too much of the smooth colour, like a smooth appearance too much, so don't worry about it, because like I've said, it is supposed to be a skeleton and we are going for that rustic kind of look. I think it's what gives it the appearance. Right, so like I say, if you've got any areas that you want to darken up, you can come in with the green ochre and then back in with the bronze. And just smooth it out where your page is going lighter. So for now, we've kind of got the look we're after, but what I think adds to it a lot is by adding our black. Now once we're going with the black, we're going in really soft on that pressure. You don't need to hardly put any pressure on, we're just doing it very lightly. And we're just going inside of the lines what are already drawn into the paper. Where your dark shadows are. And I think it just makes, for some reason, the rest of the colours pop. Again, you don't need to put too much pressure on. If you do, and you do it too prominent, you can go back in with your sepia, your green ochre and your bronze just to smooth it out a bit. So we're just going to go, I would imagine, very lightly over the lips. And down at the side where his jaw is. And just slightly fetch the corner where it's underneath his hat, so where his hat, where the witch's hat's going over the skeleton, very lightly, and then we're just going to fetch it down around that side of the eye socket. I'm going to fetch some slightly here. On here again, I'm just using a light pressure just for under this eye here, really light. I think too much black would not look very nice, so just doing a light. And then we've got the top of the head, which is the darkest area. And we're just gonna fetch some around this little area where we're at shading his head. And I might go over just a little bit with the sepia with this one. So if you get your sepia, and then you can go back with your bronze. And if you wanted to add any more colour to make it darker, you can do so, but I'm just trying to be quite fairly quick for this video, but you at home can obviously take your time with it. Yeah, so as you can see, that's the look what I'm going for. It's just the same as these. Now what I did on these skeletons, just so you know, I've just started the same with the green ochre and I went in with the green ochre with the very lightest pressure and went over all my darkest areas like the mouth, round the eye sockets, and just round the cracks what I've already drawn in, and round the back of the head because I thought that would be the darkest. And then I started to fetch my bronze out to where I wanted the highlight. So as you can see, I've fetched it really out, just so we've got like an highlight across the front of his forehead. You can go back in with your cream because I think I've missed bits there, so I might go back over that with my cream actually. Like I say, I did this last night and it were really dark yesterday as well. But yeah, so I fetched the bronze out into the front of the skull where I wanted my highlight. I did it really light pressure. Then I put my yellow through it, and then I got to where I wanted my highlight, and then I just went back in and deepened it up, and with my sepia, and then went back over with my green ochre and my bronze, and then at the end I just added the black into areas where I wanted it. Obviously I didn't need to add too much black. So again, with what we've done with these two and this one, we're going to go in with the green ochre, and I'll show you what I did with the skeleton's body. Now obviously we can't see his arms like with this one, and I think I've just missed a little bit there as well. Let's get some cream into that. See, I can see better in this light because yesterday it was really dull. I mean, I'm from South Yorkshire near Doncaster, obviously in England, in the UK, and the weather's just been raining for weeks and we haven't had any good lighting at all. It's just been miserable, so it don't really matter what time of day I film it, it's been miserable. So yeah, anyway, we'll get on to this little bit. So I'm just imagining where I want my highlight, which I'm thinking is going to be down here. So I'm just going to fetch this green ochre, just around his rib cage. Again, just a light pressure. This is all going to be dark. Actually, that shouldn't have been coloured in, so I'm just going to erase that. Not to worry though, because we are putting the background through the skeleton. Actually, it is a bone. I thought it was one of the owls, but it's actually not, so we should have actually coloured it in. Oh well. You'll notice I do that quite often. Try to work what stuff are out on page. So I'm just putting a little layer where I want everything a bit messy at the minute. Imagine this is going to be darker. It would be darker down here, where he's hiding underneath the wing. And obviously just underneath this wing, the same. And I'm just doing little circular movements. And we're just going to leave a little highlight in the middle there. So the picture kind of cuts off a bit here, so just try to follow this line. It doesn't matter if it looks a bit smudgy because there's been no line, because like I said, the background will fix that as soon as we put the background in. So we've just got an highlight on here as well. So then we'll go with our bronze. And we're just going to fill the rest of these skeletons. I'm just going over everywhere I think it's going to be in shadow. And again, just keeping it light. I'm just going to start to really lightly fetch it out towards the highlight. Just in little circular movements. And just go back in with your green ochre. We have got like a bone, what you can see at the back of the rib cage, and just fill the sides in with the green ochre. Just, there's not a lot of room, it doesn't matter because these are going to be darker. Then we're going to just go back over with that bronze and just fill it in. You can fill it all in with that bronze, because we're going to deepen the edges with the sepia. Just like that. It doesn't need to be perfect and neat because it is, like I say, it's at the back of the skeleton. Right, so now we've got, and again I can't apologise enough for snivelling that I'm doing throughout this video, but yeah, again we're going to go in with the sepia, and we're going to start to figure out where we want it the darkest. So I am imagining underneath, just where his chin is, it's pretty much going to be all dark here. So I'm just doing it lightly at first. We're going to have some fetching in just here, and I'm just doing a light layer. Underneath the hat. And then very lightly, because we're going to be going back in with the green ochre for this bit. So we're just going to fetch some round here. So we're getting a darker appearance on these rib cages. Just very lightly, so we can get that green ochre and your bronze put back in when we start to deepen everything up. Right, it's, I would imagine, underneath here would be darker, and around here. So we've got all this area underneath. So it's quite, I don't know if you see that, but light's just gone really dull outside. You see what I mean with lighting around here? I'm just going to turn this light on. I do apologise for that lighting. It just couldn't have happened at a better time, could it have? It's just all of a sudden gone really dull. I mean, it's not even late, so I don't understand why it's just so dull all the time. And to be honest, our summers are not much better here neither, because it just rains in summer. So because it's autumn, I'm just seeing what you guys can see since that lighting's just gone. I'm hoping you can see this. I'm just gonna try to stick my lamp on as well, so I can get a bit more light for you. So just underneath here, we're going to go lightly again in with this sepia. And then we're just going to fetch it slightly down and round the old outer edge. And then we're just going to do the same again with this leg. Just underneath here where the joint of the skeleton's leg is. And again. Just fill this area up because we can't really see it. Right, let me just have a look where I am. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back in with the green ochre and we're just going to start to fill everything up and deepen it up. Right, where are we? I mean, this area does look dark, but it would be, to be fair. But once we start adding our black, it should look a bit better around that area. But for now, just fetch your green ochre through it all. So it doesn't have to be really neat, so don't worry about that. Let's go over with the bronze. And I have forgot, just this little bit of area would be darker as well, and I've gone in with black there instead of sepia. If you do what I've just done and put black down or in any areas, just go back over with your sepia. Deepen it up, get that sepia in there, then get your green ochre in. And then just go back in with your sepia. Because it would be dark. And just smooth it all out. gonna go smooth everything back out here. So I'm using green ochre for now. Bronze. Just over where we've put that green ochre. And we're going to want it a lot darker. So it's just a matter of going in and deepening everything up. And just building up on them colours. And then once it starts to, the colours start to come out and start to deepen, you're getting that look then, what we're after. And then again, once we add our yellow, we add our cream, and then we add our black, it's going to look different again. And lights come back out now. So we're just going to deepen this up. Don't worry about too much of this because it's covered. So as you can see, it's not neat because that's not what we're going for. I'm not doing anything in a neat way, if you get what I mean. In other words, you don't have to worry about having to put the colour down perfectly. I'm just going to darken these out. Right, so we want just to start to deepen this up in areas. Just fetch some around here. And then go back over with your bronze and just smooth it all out. So this would be a darker skeleton anyway, because this skeleton's body is mostly in shadow. So what I'm going to do, just for now, is I'm going to start to fetch my yellow in before we go any further. But as you can see, we've got quite a darker looking appearance on this skeleton at the minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to give it that colour. And we're going to fetch it in and through any colours what we've put down. I'm just going to slightly erase any colour of what's transferred onto the middle of my skeleton where I want my highlight. So just leave a little bit of highlight for your cream. Again, just fetch it through and over all the brown, just to give it that matching look. And again, if you do get any pencil over lines, don't worry too much, we are going to be putting a background in. So I don't know if you can see that, but we're starting to get that look now, what we're after. Then we'll just go over with the cream. So we've got our skeleton matching up. Now we just need to add some of the black. So some of the black's going to be obviously underneath, because all this seems to be really darker. We're just going to fetch some, again with the lightest pressure. So I don't know if you can see that, but again it's changing the colour of the whole thing. It's just making it pop out a lot more. Just going to run some slightly through here. Again, really light pressure. I can't say that enough on the black because we don't want to ruin the whole thing by making it too prominent. So we've got these where we've started to make this area a lot darker, so we're going to fetch some of this black round. We are going to start to fetch some slightly up just at the side of this wing. I forgot to put my yellow there, we'll do that in a minute. So So as like I've said in my previous videos, when I'm doing the layering, it does take, it is time consuming, but at least I know that I'm going to get the effect that I'm after in the end result, rather than going straight on with the full pressure of the pencil and then ending up not to be able to add more colours to my page because I'll end up burnishing it. So at least doing it this way, it might be more time consuming, but at least you're getting the effect what you're after. And I have got some yellow in one of the spaces there, but I'm not too worried about it because I'm going over it anyway with the background. So it's going to get covered. And again, you can go back over with your green ochre if need be, which I probably will, because it's it does tend to be a lot more in shadow, this skeleton, than the rest. So then we'll go back over with our bronze, sorry, and just smooth it out with a really light pressure. And I'm just gonna deepen this bit up. So anyway, areas where you're wanting to smooth out, just to go ahead with the green ochre and the bronze, and it'll just smooth it all out. Just going to take that sepia, make this darker. Get some black down the bottom of there. And then we're just going to put our yellow through everything on his leg, into the white. Leave a tiny little bit of space for that cream, and then we can go back and start to deepen everything up. And if you want, you can start to put more yellow into the skeleton if you want at the top, and just go over it with your cream. Like I said, it is a darker skeleton. I'm just going to fill this bit in here because it wants to be dark, it doesn't match. Let's go in with the black. And again, here I'm going to go with the bronze. And then just going to go in with the black. And a bit coming up front bottom of here. Again, don't worry about these bits, you can just go back over them with the sepia. You're not really going to see much of them. I'm just smoothing out everything with this sepia now. On this bit we're going to go back in with the green ochre, just to get rid of any harsh lines that we've got. And then the bronze. And again, if you needed to deepen any of this bit up here, just until you're happy with it. Yep, so that's the result that we've got, which I'm really happy with. Like I said, this skeleton is more in shadow. So if you notice, if you are going to do these, just take in consideration your lighting, because they are in more of a spaced area, so they are going to be lighter. Again, you can't really see this one because it's hid behind her. So it's just a matter of going in with your black and just touching up any areas that you're wanting to deepen up. So if you wanted to go back in with that black and deepen some areas up, because it is really dark round here. But just keep going in until you're satisfied, personally, with how dark you want it. But yeah, so that's, I'm just gonna add some black just down here. I was gonna say some at them, but I'll say it when I've just done this bit. And then you can just smooth it off with your super. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. I'm just going to zoom you guys back out a bit so you can see it better. But yeah, I'm really happy with that. I think the gold matches everything what we've done so far on the page. And I think it kind of looks more of the rustic colour. If you wanted to go in and deepen any of your yellow up just a bit, you can just go back in and do that. And then go back in with your cream. So what I'm going to be doing in my next video is I'm wanting like a solid background. So I'm going to be doing it with pencils. And I'm thinking I want a really deep purple. I don't know whether I'm going to use 2 purples or 1. I'll obviously decide in time for my next video. But I'm going to be wanting a really deep purple. And like I say, we're going to be seeing the background through the skeleton's eyes and the rib cage. And then I'm probably just going to star it, and it's just going to be a simple solid background because I think we've got enough going on in the foreground to add, so we don't really need to add any fancy effects in the background. So yeah, this is the end of this part of the colour on, which is part 9. So just bearing in mind the lighting of these 2 skeletons, if you can take a screenshot or you want to do your own lighting, go ahead. And just before I do go, I just wanted to show you something that I was doing with Black Widows at the weekend, which was me Anna Lynn girl from the Tattoos Darling book, which I just turned into the Harley Quinn. We've got like a little lover and a makeup what I put on her face, and I just thought she looked like Harley Quinn, and then I just give her like a mucky blonde hair. So I did her with Black Widows. So I'm thinking about doing some colour alongs in future with budget pencils. So if you've got any recommendations of what pencils you'd like to see in any colour alongs, please just comment below. And thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.